Hey, welcome to Fat Guy Productions. I am Paul, and today I'm coming to you from the workbench. If you go through and look at my videos, the ones that are most popular by a long measure are the ones I do on coin ringing. One of the comments I had was a request for me to do a video on the tools that I use, what I chose, why I chose it, how I use it, and stuff like that. So today I'm going to go through and take you through the tools that I use. Now, to help go through this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the process. So I'm going to do the tools in order that I would use them. I'm also going to give every tool a rating of a 1 to 4. A 1 means you have to have it if you want to make coin rings. A 2 might mean you don't necessarily need to have this, but it's really good to have. A 3 is, it's kind of a luxury item, and a 4 is just ancillary stuff. Now that does not mean that just because a tool is something you have to have, that's a bare bottom line thing. It's like you got to have this tool to make a coin ring. You can do better by maybe getting a 2 or a 3, but they may be more expensive, they may be superfluous, you know, it all depends. And you'll see what I'm talking about when I get to the presses. But so 1 to 4, a 1 you have to have it. And all of this is going to be listed in the comments below. All right, so let's get right to it. Okay, the first thing you're going to do when you're making a coin ring is you're going to anneal it, which means putting a lot of heat on it. So you're going to need a torch. This is a Bernzomatic TS8000, okay? I got this on Amazon. It's a really affordable torch. It uses these refillable bottles that you can buy. You can buy the whole setup at Walmart. You can buy the refills at Walmart. You can get it online, whatever, readily available, works great, okay? This is absolutely a number 1. You have to have something to anneal your coins, okay? So this is a number 1. This is just a paver. It takes the heat. I can put the coin down on here. I can do the annealing right on this surface. It doesn't affect this block at all, and because of the thickness of it, it doesn't conduct the heat down to my workbench, which is a nice thing. So something to do your annealing on is also a number 1. Tweezers for picking up the hot coin, number 1. Pickle jar, number 1, okay? Fill it with water. So after the coin is annealed, you pick it up, you dunk it in the water to quench it, okay? You gotta have that. A Sharpie, very must-have Sharpies. I got a whole bunch of these all over the place. You put a mark on the coin as it fades off while you're annealing the silver coins. You'll know that they're properly annealed, and then a little towel here to set the coin down onto after it's quenched to dry it off. So this is all mandatory stuff you gotta have. This Bernzomatic rocks, okay? It's got an igniter in it. It's ready to go. Some guys who are really cranking these things out will buy jeweler's torches and you know, the big propane tanks and hoses and all that, but you really don't need it. This will do the job for you. All right, let's move on and talk about these invaluable tools. Everything here is a number 1. All right, and I'm going to start by talking about the punch, okay? You're going to have to be able to punch a hole in the center of your coins, okay? The hole has to be neat, clean, and dead center, okay? There are other ways to do this. You can chuck this up in a lathe. You can drill a hole in it. Harbor Freight has a inexpensive punch set that I actually think is dangerous. I think it's a huge mistake to use it. I don't like it. I don't use it. This is My Punch by JasonWorks.com. This is a guy named Jason Stinchfield. He has come up with a lot of advancements in coin ring making, and he sells his different sets. So I bought this punch set here, okay? And so basically it came with, I think, these 3 punches. It came with some of the centering rings that you need to center your coins. And then it came with the punch itself. And basically you unscrew the top here. Okay, you put your centering ring in here, you put your coin in here, you take your punch, you put it through the top here like so, and you drive it through your coin, and it knocks out a hole, you know, takes the center out, clean as a whistle, all right, and you're good to go. Now, I won't lie to you, the punch set is expensive, okay? This is his original punch, and it uses, like I said, a series of these rings in different diameters to center the coins in it. Okay, see, this is not a fit for that one, but you get the idea. So this would center the coin inside the punch. All right? He now makes another one that is self-centering, okay? And it's taken the place of this guy. He's lowered the price of this one, and now he's got the self-centering punch. That's the one I would get if I didn't already have this, okay? But I bought the set because it came with a variety of punches, and, you know, so I can make little holes, I can make big holes, I can do a lot of different things. So I bought his punch set. I named this a #1. You have to have something to punch it. I don't like any of the other rinky-dink things. I don't think this is a place you can cut corners. So Jason Works Punch. He's got his Etsy store. He makes a lot of stuff. He stands by his stuff. I had a problem with the bottom of my punch. He said, send it in. He sent me a brand new one. All right, so he stands by his stuff. It's really made really, really well. I have not had any problems with any of the stuff I've bought from him. So Jason's Works Punch, and I suggest you get the self-centering one. That way you don't have to mess with all the little rings. All right, then I bought his die set. Now, it didn't have this one in here, okay? It just had these 4 dies, and I bought the little tray, and it came with all these little fibrous cones for pushing the coins through, all right? And you see how nice they are. I mean, they're not just slipshod. They're beautiful. They're machined really smoothly. They've got 2 sides to them. There's one side, there's the other. So you can do different kinds of coins. 17-degree slopes. You got 17, and then they go down. So here's 1.5 to 1.6, 1.4 to 1.3. Here you go to 1.2, 1.1, and all the way down to this little dude, 1 inch and 0.9. 17-degree slopes on the inside. These are what you're going to use to do your folding. Now, although the kit came with these, I don't use these anymore, okay? I have these pushing cones that I use, and you get these from a guy named Neil Peppett. He's out of England. They're made out of Delrin. They're very resilient. They work fantastic. They don't damage your coin at all. Fantastic for folding your coin without messing up the inside detail. So I use a lot of Neil stuff for doing all the pushing, okay? So these are the dies I use. Those are the pushers I use. Now, here's another thing from Jason, and this is a stainless steel cone. I may occasionally use this for challenge coins and big coins where I'm trying to start the fold and I'm having trouble. This is not necessarily a must-have. This is more like a 2 or a 3. This is pretty important. This is a starter cone, and I use this on every coin. And so I'm going to make this a #1. This is a starter cone, and because the first fold is the toughest, instead of using the Delrin and possibly messing it up, I use the stainless steel starter cone, get my first fold out of the way, then I put this off to the side, then I switch over to Neil's pushers to use it the rest of the way. So Neil's pushers, to me, are a 2, because if you get Jason's kit, it comes with these. These will work fine. This is a 1. This is a 1. Starter cone is a 1. Neil's cones are a 2, simply because you don't have to have them. They're just really, really great. So that's what's going on over here. And so now we're going to move on and we're going to talk about the Swedish wrap. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Okay, here's Jason's Swedish wrap set. Now this was an attempt to make some pushers. I really don't use them, don't like them, okay? The Swedish wrap set comes with 2 dies, all right? And then I bought this separate. This is the holder to hold the dies so that when you push the ring all the way through, it's got a place to drop out at, okay? I use this setup on every single ring I make, okay? I really love it. It's the best way to really help you finalize and get your shape of your ring right. So it all comes with these gradiated brass pushers, and the lines on there are so that you can see just how far you can go before it won't go any further. That way you don't ruin your pushers or your die. So this will go down all the way to the very top line. So when I'm pushing, I know not to exceed that line. I usually stay a line below it, okay? But once again, I don't use these, okay? I use Neil Pippett's stuff. And here are some of the pushers I use of Neil's. They're 2-sided, so you got a couple sides on each. And as you can see, I've got them all pre-marked. So this only goes that far, all right? And then this one goes all the way to that line. And again, they're made out of Delrin, so they don't damage my coins, and I love them. All right? But I do use the Swedish wrap a lot. I don't think you have to have it, so I'm going to call it a number 2, but I highly recommend you get one. This was just a larger folding cone for doing challenge coins. And then this is a 25-degree die. And the point of this is it makes getting a fat tire look done easier. So this is Jason's Works 25-degree die. When I'm trying to give that fat tire look, I use this. It helps me round the coin edges without touching the sidewalls, okay? So I like this, but it's not necessary. I'm gonna call it a 2, all right? Okay, moving on, here is my mandrel. You have to have one of these simply because you gotta know what size you're making your rings to. And that's a heavy sucker, okay? Don't buy some cheapo thing, okay? You may want to hammer on this or use it for any number of different things. Buy a really good one, okay? And I got this right on Amazon. Love the thing. All right, this is a 1-ton arbor press by Harbor Freight's Central Machinery. It's model number 03552, and this is a number 1. You have to have this as a minimum to do coin ringing. It is not the press I would recommend, but if you're on a budget and you just want to give things a try, this is the one you want to go ahead and get. It is the bare minimum. You have to have at least this to do coin ringing, but really it's not strong enough to do the bigger coins like the dollars, and certainly not any challenge coins. But for quarters and half dollars, it works fantastic. I don't give it a lot of use, but it's nice to have in the shop. So this is what you want to do. Don't forget to use your 20% off coupon. Point of interest, if you do get one of these, take the press bar out, grind off the first 2 teeth on either end and put them in bottom down here. And what that'll do for you is it'll allow this to have a ratcheting effect like this. Why do you want that? Because it allows you to set the position of your handle based on the height of your project so that the handle is right in the sweet spot, okay? So it grinds off easy. Make sure you do that. But this is a number 1, but not the recommended press. Okay, this next press that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to inset the photo in here so that you can see it. It's also from Harbor Freight. It's a 6-ton hydraulic press from Harbor Freight. It is a 2, and the reason I say that is because you can get by with the arbor press. but this is the minimum press that I recommend you get. Everybody is using these things. They're affordable. They're strong enough to punch through challenge coins. They're not the best. But if you've got the money, I would suggest this is the one press that you want. All right, and the only reason it's a 2 is because you don't have to spend the extra money on this one. All right, it's optional. Like I said, you can use the arbor press. Now, the trick to making the hydraulic press work out right is when you're assembling it, make sure you put Loctite on all the threads, and before you do the final tightening and putting everything down, is make sure you take and square everything up. If your press is not square, it's going to give you a lot of trouble. Follow the instructions, square the thing up, use Loctite on all the joints, and it will be perfectly serviceable. The only reason I can't show you mine is because it's stashed away in a locker because I have something bigger and better. It's absolutely a luxury item, but it's what I have and it's what I use, and I love it, love it, love it. So anyhow, 6-ton hydraulic press at Harbor Freight. Don't forget to use your 20% off coupon. All right, here's the press that I use. And this is the big dog. It's like the holy grail of presses. All right. This was made by a coin ringer. All right. It was made by a coin ringer for a coin ringer. Why is it great? Well, first of all, it's smaller than the Harbor Freight hydraulic press. Okay, so it's more compact. It has a smaller footprint, but it also has a lot more room for me to put things in here into the pressing area. It's got this specially designed plate to hold my dies and what have you, and it's also got these inserts so I can set them in here. Now I've got a flat work surface, or I can set this one in here, and then I've got a flat work surface with a hole to give me some punch through. It's got a work tray. It's got some pegs for holding tools, you know, for holding my my handles and things like that. Put a light on it. It is just a massive beast of a machine. It will do anything you can think of. This thing is the big dog. Now, this is only a number 3. Why is it a number 3? Well, I'll tell you, it's a number 3 because this sucker is really expensive. Having said that, I would not be without it, okay? I don't like to fight and struggle with my tools. I love this thing. It was worth every penny of it for me. If you're going to do any volume of coin rings, you might want to think about investing in something like this. The bottle jack can be unbolted, so I can replace it if it ever becomes a problem. I can spin this higher or lower as need be, so I can change the throw of the press. You know, there's just a lot of functionality to it and a lot of things that were made based on what a ringer would want. So I really love this thing. It's fantastic. It's a 3 because it's so expensive, and you really don't have to have this. You can use the Harbor Freight press, but if you have the funds to do it, or you're going to do a lot of ring making, this is the one I would recommend. Okay, so you don't need it, but it's what I would buy. If you don't want to spend this much money, I highly recommend the hydraulic press from Harbor Freight, but again, you don't even need that. You can always use the arbor press. This is the big dog. Okay, I'm going to go handheld for this section, and this is going to be the tale of 2 ring stretchers. Okay, here are my 2 ring stretchers. This here is the first one I ever bought. I bought it online, and it's made by some fly-by-night company. Who knows? I don't know who makes it. It's cheapo. Guys have snapped these handles. The splines have fractured on people. But I got to be honest, I made a lot of rings on this thing, and I had no trouble. Okay, but it is not the best quality. It's just, it is what it is. But if this was a place you want to start, I'm going to make this a number one, because you can save yourself a couple bucks and you can get the job done with this sucker, okay? But then, as I developed and got going, I went to the big dog. The Durston. Okay, the Durston is a jeweler's level. I mean, this is the real thing. This is what you might find in a jewelry shop. Okay, this is the best ring stretcher out there. I bought it from a place called Cooks on Gold, and with your first purchase you can get a discount. And this thing holds up really well. It does a fantastic job. You'll see the difference immediately in the reduction die down here, okay, because this thing is really well machined and very nice. Does a fantastic job. But that's the Durston, and it is expensive as all get out. So it's absolutely going to be a 2 or even a 3, because you can get by with the foreign jobby. Now, if you're going to order this Durston from Cooks on Gold, I'm going to give you a word of warning. Call your bank an hour before you place your order and tell them you're going to order something from this place called Cooks on Gold in England. Otherwise, they're going to block your transaction and your order's not going to go through, and you're going to have all sorts of trouble like I did, okay? But if you call and tell the bank not to block it, they'll be looking for it and they'll let it go through. You won't have any issues. But if you can afford it, this is the one I would say to get right out of the gate. Save yourself some money. But, you know, I've got a backup, you know, so I'm okay with this. But Durston and the foreign jobber, you have to have a ring stretcher. This is how you're going to get to your final perfect size, okay? So right here, you need a ring stretcher, okay? One of these two is a number one. Okay, so that is a look at the stuff that I use for making coin rings, a bunch of the tools that I use. I'm going to put a really detailed listing of the tools I use, the grades that I'm giving them, and the sources where I got them from. But, you know, feel free to use whatever works best for you. If you're happy with an arbor press, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Use an arbor press. It's not for me. I don't like to have to struggle and fight with my tools, so spending more on my press was a no-brainer for me. Same thing with the ring stretcher. Getting a Durston that is going to last and be a good tool for me, it was a no-brainer. But you know, not everybody thinks the same way. Some people want to save money. Other people want the best. You know, some people are making lots of rings. Some people are making random rings. You know, you've got to decide what works for you. Anyhow, that's going to be it for this video. I really hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and click subscribe to my Facebook page. And I hope to bring you other things on coin ring making, model making. I'm hoping to do soon some tutorials on paracording. I've done a lot of that too, so I hope to bring those to you soon. All right, so this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions saying until next time, see you later.